Welcome to the Home Centered Life podcast, where we seek to slow down, opt out of anxiety, and live an unhurried life. We're so glad you're here.
Journey alongside us as we learn about homesteading, homemaking, and living a more simple, home-centered life. Because we think the richest life possible is centered around the home.
Welcome back to the Home Centered Life podcast. As always, we are so glad you're here, and I'm excited about today's episode, partly because we're saying this is something we do, but it's also a little aspirational, meaning we do some of the things, but we need to grow in some of the things. So this episode, drum roll, please, is talking about 10 ways to keep the love alive as a young couple, or I should maybe say a couple with young kids. Let's go with that.
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, a couple. Yep. So 10 ways to keep the love alive as a couple with young kids.
Nailed it.
And some of you are already like, man, I need this right now. So that is why we're talking about this, partly because it's so important. Yeah. I feel like the seeds you're planting in this season, I think that's what I remember is like, this isn't a short term, this is like a long-term investment, you know, and even this season is hard and busy and full. It's like long-term is so important to like continue prioritizing the marriage relationship. Yeah. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think the podcast in general, and for this topic in particular, there's also a huge sort of selfish component to doing the podcast because it gives us a chance to sit down and talk about things like this.
Yeah.
And when would you normally sit down for 30 minutes and talk about the top 10 things you can do?
Yeah.
But this is sort of an excuse to have those kind of conversations.
Yeah.
And so
I
feel like this is particularly a good example of that. That's a general thing I love about having a podcast together. But then this in particular it's like an excuse to talk about something. It's one of the reasons I love doing coaching and consulting, because I get to talk about things that I'm learning that I would normally just like get pushed to the back of my brain and maybe I'd forget them. But because I talk about them all the time with my clients, it's a great excuse.
And it's just not to jump in, but it's like also an excuse to be like, how are we doing in these things?
Yeah.
And that's why, you were like, oh, I could do number whatever better. And so this is something that I think it's easier without young kids to do these things, I feel like, or it could be easier. There's always going to be something that could get in the way of these kinds of things in a marriage. But I feel like when you're sleep deprived and when you're in the middle of, chasing little ones around, by the end of the day, you're just like, I'm done, So here we are recording a podcast after the kids are asleep. But it's partly because, again, we're trying to do this. We're trying to do something together. So that is one of the numbers that we'll talk about. So these are 10, not in any particular order, but just 10 different things that we thought of that are important to do. Keep prioritizing the marriage in the middle of little kidhood.
Our kids are very smart, not kid dumb.
I was kid in little kidhood. Okay, you want to jump in and do number one?
Yeah, number one is make sure that you're on the same team. I think this is more of a mindset than it is like a specific action.
Totally.
For lots and lots of reasons. And this is for the kids too. If they sense that we are not on the same team, that's like being on board an airplane where the pilot and the co-pilot are bickering and each trying to take control of the plane. Guess who doesn't feel safe? The passengers.
Totally.
That'd be a terrifying experience if they left the intercom on and you could hear them bickering. And they were each like, I'm doing this. No, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
So there's lots of reasons to do it. It's not just for us even. But making sure that we are on the same team, for me, that is like a mindset or a filter that I run almost everything through. Pretty much everything through. And when we come to a moment where, you could make an argument like, oh, I could respond this way, that would be fine enough, or I could respond that way and it'd be fine enough. And let's just say they're equal. But almost always reinforcing that you and I are on the same team makes a particular response or a particular course of action the obvious choice.
Yeah.
And I think that's really helpful. It just simplifies a lot of decision making. If you do something that I'm not sure about or whatever, I'm not going to bring that up in front of the kids. If we need to hash it out, we can, but it'll be kind of offline. Because one of the most important things that we can do is just make sure that we're on the same team.
Yeah. And I think this just plays out too in like you said, the way we talk to one another, and just like you said, it's a mindset shift. It's the way you think about everything through, like the way we want to live our life is unified. It's not just for the kids' sake. I mean, that's important, but it's for our long-term livelihoods, like our lives. Like we're in this for the long haul, so we got to do this now and in 30 years.
I think that's the other part of it too, is like what's going to happen once the kids are gone. Like they're not going to be here forever.
Totally. Yeah.
So if we haven't been a team between here and there, we're going to get to the other side of it and we're not going to be a team.
Yeah.
Because we have spent the last 30 years not being a team.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's such a short-term mentality to be two coexisting people who are not really on the same team.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So that is number 1. Make sure you're on the same team. Number 2, I'll jump in and do this one. Prioritize time that is just yours, just ours, just the man and the wife, just the husband and wife. That's just the spouses. Because again, it's easy for we were woken up at 6:22 today, and then you put the kids to bed, and it's easy to forget that these couple hours after the kids are down, this is our time, and so not that you can't we can't go hang out with friends. We don't really have any, so that is okay, but just kidding. So making sure that this is our time together, and we'll bring this up later, but we try to do one alone night each week where it's we just read books separately, or I take a bath or whatever it is. So, but this is talking about after the kids are in bed, this is the time where we can have conversations that we didn't have earlier in the day. And this is where we can sit and cuddle together and, do really whatever. So again, just prioritizing time that's just yours. So make sure you do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think after the kids go to bed, before we go to bed, is probably the time that we can most consistently count on.
Totally. I agree. Yeah. Love it. All right, number 3.
Keep dating each other. So this is one that I do feel like we do all of these. I just don't feel like we do the 10 out of 10 version of all of these. And this is the one that I've been thinking about lately, that I feel like we do, but I could do a much better job of this one. And so I've been thinking about this one a lot lately. I still think it should be on the list. And I still think we could say we do this, but this would be one that I feel like I could be better at.
Yeah. Yeah. What is, in the past, what have we done to do dates? I would say, cause I think what I consider a date doesn't mean we need to go out to dinner or really even go anywhere. Our definition of date has shrunk down, but in a healthy way. I think for me, here I'm answering my own question, but I feel like for me, most often it's we make coffee and I try to make some baked good that just you and I share. And we go out on the sun porch, and usually we'll have my mom come over.
Yep.
Or if we, do it while the kids are napping, and it's just time to connect. We literally just drink coffee and eat something yummy and talk or go for a short walk. But I mean, so I think that I'm more sharing, and I want to hear your answer too, but sharing because you can hear the word date and be like, oh, we got to go out to a movie, or we go to dinner, or we got to go to a concert. And that could be your jam, but it also makes it more complicated when you have little kids to like find a sitter. Or do you even have energy to go out and do something at the end of the long day? So maybe that's a helpful encouragement to all of you. It's like a date can just be like, hey, we're going to have a movie night on our couch together tonight, or we're going to have a fancy dinner together in our dining room after the kids go to bed.
Yeah. I think there's three things that come into my mind. One is the energy component. And this will probably manifest itself differently for each person. I'm not sure what the universal principle here is, but I know that I can be, if I'm not paying attention, I can get to the actual date time, but without enough energy to even focus or be fully present. And that kind of nullifies the whole thing. If you're physically present, but not mentally and emotionally present. Kind of related to that is bandwidth. For me, one of the greatest challenges, and one of the reasons I feel like I can and need to do this better, is the default in the arrangement that we have right now. For me, the default is to use up extra mental bandwidth scheming how to grow my business. Like my mind will naturally drift there. And that kind of takes me to the third thing. And when I think about continuing to date your spouse, I think about it more through the lens. The first thing that I think of is the last thing that I'm sharing. And that's more of that attitude of like, when you're dating somebody, you're constantly scheming in a good way, constantly scheming ways to woo them and like draw them closer to you.
Totally.
And that attitude of like continuing to scheme is the part that I don't feel like I'm doing as well in this season. So like we are dating each other, and I want to do a better job of dating you, especially when it comes to like the scheming part of it, like the thinking of like, how could I like what that. Could I do? How could we, and getting a little bit more back to that. Cause when we were actually dating, that was all I thought about.
Yeah. How do I put a ring on her finger?
How do I get her to say yes when I finally ask the question? And that's more of an attitude or a posture that's towards
good. No, I need to do that too. That's good. Cool. Thanks for sharing, hon. Cool. Number 4. This is a pretty simple, straightforward, cut and dry one, and we've talked about this before, is put your phones away at a certain time each night.
Yep.
Because here's what can happen. I'm not blaming anyone, but this can happen. You're together like this. And you don't even make eye contact. You don't talk to each other. And I totally get like I think what we've done is, I generally don't use my phone throughout the day. Like I'm pretty like present with the kids. So sometimes it's like, okay, I need 5-10 minutes to like respond to these text messages. And then we put them in the little basket in the kitchen and then they're there for the night. Because we recognize, again, that prioritizing time together is so important. Yeah. But time together needs to be time together, not just time sitting next to each other on your phones.
Yep.
So I'm mic dropping it. Unless you have anything to add, I feel like that's plain and straight.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Most people put their kids to bed at a particular time.
Yeah.
You should also put your phone to bed at a particular time.
Say goodnight, wrap it up in a blanket. Yep. We'll see you tomorrow.
Give it a bottle.
Okay. Number 5.
Finding a common vision, or however you want to phrase that.
Yeah.
Common goals, common purpose, guiding principles. So many folks live parallel lives.
Yeah.
And the simplest way to live intersecting lives is to point collectively at a common vision.
Yeah.
So and it can be both short and long term. Sometimes it's helpful to think of a vision as more like big, broad brushstrokes, and a mission as more like, well, but what about the next 6 months? Like, what are we working on right now?
Yeah.
That we want to accomplish in about 6 months or 3 months or whatever. But vision's more like, what do we want to be true of our lives at the end of all this? If that's a helpful way to distinguish between those two things, and both I think are super helpful, but it's the same principle. It's instead of parallel lives, we're living intersecting lives. How do we do that? By choosing something, a point on the horizon, and orienting our lives.
Love it.
And each of ourselves towards that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And this can feel like a big thing. And in a sense it is. So if this feels new or hard, or like, man, we've never talked about that before, like, that's okay.
Yeah.
We're just, again, bringing this to the awareness. And it might be like, you hear this and you just need to start the conversation with your spouse. Like, hey, I recognize that we're kind of doing this. Like, what could we create together? What could we build together? Like, so again, this is not like oh shoot, I haven't been doing this. Like, you can start whenever, and it's never too late to decide. I think it's like breaks my heart when I see couples that are just like you said, living just totally disparate lives, and so it can be something small for, like just to start, like, hey, we want to like learn the guitar together or something, whatever. That could be like the thing for the next 6 months that you decide, or, or it could be big. Like, we want to, open up a animal shelter, or, whatever it is. So, but this could just be the beginning of a conversation for you guys. So
I do feel like, especially in today's day and age, but I think in general in the United States, we exalt independence. And when somebody says have a shared vision or common vision, it could be tempting to feel like your independence is being threatened. But I think what we're describing is healthy interdependence. And I think if you read the literature, that's very obviously the strongest stance. I also think being afraid to give up your independence is a form of insecurity. I don't think people don't think of it like that. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm my own person. That's a super insecure thing to say. It's a truly secure, humbly confident person who can be like, yeah, I am fine by myself, but I'm much better with you. I do have my own vision for my life, but you know what I'd really like to do is have a common vision for our life.
I love it. Yeah.
That's a much more secure stance. So if you ever feel like that is bristling up kind of inside you, like, no, I don't want to give my independence, I would encourage you to think of that as a sign of insecurity and treat it like that. Like, well, that's just proof that I got some work to do.
Yeah.
Because we don't think of it like that as a culture, I don't think.
Yeah. That's a good perspective. I feel like number 6 kind of crisscrosses over this, but when I thought of this, I was thinking of something slightly more tangible. So I said, so I think number 5 is more like big picture. So then number 6 is working on something together. So like this maybe is more of the, like you said, the mission. I think so. Maybe we are crisscrossing this one a little bit.
Yeah,
but
my bad.
No, that's okay.
I could have left it.
So I think, for us right now in this season, in a sense, like raising your kids is something you're doing, or I hope you're doing together. That should be something you share, I think. But it's also like for us, it's working on the homestead. It's like, okay, we are going to get goats in April. How are we going to do this? What do we got to plan? Okay, the chickens are coming here. Like, when are we going to do this? And finding something that excites you too. I think that's the other part of it. Like, it doesn't have to be something mundane. I guess it could be like, hey, we mow the lawn together. I don't know. But in general, like, I think something that you're excited to do. I know we like had some friends that like were feeling kind of separate, and the husband was asking like, man, I need to find something we can work on together. And we were like, oh, remember when you guys like sang together? Remember
Yeah.
like do music together again, find something, like go take a class together. But just finding something tangible, like that you can point to and you're like, oh, we're doing this thing, you know, so take dance lessons, you know, I don't, whatever it is. Yeah.
All right. Number 7 is share your dreams. Don't just talk about the kids. I feel like these are kind of two things. Don't just talk about the kids. Something you could talk about is your dreams.
Yeah. Love it.
And obviously these are connected. Everything's connected, but having a common vision, having a common project, also sharing your dreams. There's this like there's this tendency to try and make everything like one and done. Like we had a conversation about our vision. We're done with that.
Right.
Well, I think of things all the time. You think of things all the time that we haven't talked about before. And sometimes it's just going to be like, hey, I want goats.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, and because there's times where, and it maybe eventually it'll become part of a shared or common vision, but at first it might just be your vision or my vision or my dream or your dream. Like, I'd really like to do this.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
You can work on that during your alone night.
Yeah.
But sharing them still.
Totally.
Like I want to do this thing. That's okay if you don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It's not going to like take over my life, but I'm still going to, pick away at it a little bit here, a little bit there. But it's okay to have like a dream or a vision that's just yours also.
Totally.
Generally I like the one main vision to be shared.
Yeah.
Otherwise you just end up being two people writing two stories.
Right.
Instead of two people writing an interwoven story.
Yeah. I think, just the second part, don't just talk about the kids. Like it is so fun. Like when you're at work and our daughter does something funny to share it, but then to fixate on, oh, well, they did this, and this. Like, there's times where you have to process through things totally. But like, I've also we've been out to dinner and we've heard the couples next to us and all they're talking about is the kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what about how are you as a person?
Right.
And so I think, like you said, it's a both and here. We love our children, but we also have conversations that are not about them. And that's a good thing, I think. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Along the same lines, prioritizing time apart is number 8. I heard, I can't remember who said this. I'll figure it out and post it in the show notes or something. But the idea of giving the other person a chance to miss you, as much as togetherness is literally one of our core values.
Yeah.
Alone nights and time apart and quiet time, alone time. I love it when our daughter will shut the door and I can hear her on the other side of the door saying, Dada needs alone time.
Yeah.
It's just, I think, again, healthy interdependence is I'm okay by myself and I'm better together, but it's both. It's a both and scenario. It's good apart, good together. And I think that's really important, even if only just to give the other person a chance to miss you. Because that's the theme of this is how to keep the love alive.
Yeah.
So time apart is part of keeping the love alive.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just creating those little opportunities. In general, I feel like I would choose to just stay at home all the time, but there are times it's like, okay, I'm going to go to this coffee shop and journal by myself, or you're really good at creating those opportunities for me. And I know I need to get better at doing that for you, but I think, it's important. Again, it's, even if I'm gone for a couple hours, you just miss me. It's just, I'm just kidding.
I just am sitting in the window, panting,
waiting. Okay.
Awesome.
Cool. Number 9. This one was the one that you came up with. So I feel like I'll intro it and then you can tell us more about this one. Voice your needs before they become urgent. Tell us more about this one, Michael.
Yeah, I put that in there because I suck at this. So my MO for almost 4 decades has mostly been to deprioritize my needs as far as I possibly can, and or make them as flexible as I possibly can. Like, I need to eat some food. Well, I got to push it just a little further, a little further, a little further. But what's been happening now, especially, I think it's partially getting older and partially having kids, I think, are kind of the two main factors. Maybe a third factor could be the stress of running a business, but it's getting to the point now where, like, if I do that, I'll just like collapse. Literally from just like low blood sugar, hunger, just like shut down.
Exhaustion. Yeah.
And so if you're somebody who can push yourself indefinitely forever and ever, kudos, but I doubt it. Also, that'll probably come back to bite you just in your 60s and 70s instead of right. Mine's more immediate, like, bow, bow.
Yeah.
I'm like having a crash right now. A lot of people power through for decades and then they just crash when they're 65. So I put that on there because I'm terrible at this and I'm working on it. But it's a need, a genuine need does not go away. Like, you need to eat or I need to eat. That's not going away. It's just a question of, am I going to meet that need or even voice that need before I like fall apart?
Yeah.
And some crazy thought, better to voice it before you fall apart and then work towards meeting it.
Yeah.
Especially, and I'm using silly almost examples of like taking a shower and eating food to communicate. Like, pretty much I think everybody would think of those things as legitimate. There's going to be things that you might not realize are legitimate needs that you need to voice. That's always part of the conversation.
Yeah.
That's a little bit trickier, but we're in a season now where it's like, for me, it's like, no, like this afternoon, you're like, can just 10 more minutes to measure this thing? And I was like, no.
Yeah. And that's so
I'm going inside.
Yeah. And
I'm at my limit.
I didn't realize in the moment, but I'm like really proud of you that you said that. And I think the reason this not only is important in marriage, but just it's just like helping us be functioning, healthy humans. So if you're not a functioning, healthy human, how are you supposed to love your spouse?
Yeah, right.
And I'm not like blaming you, but like when you're collapsed on the floor.
But I'm loving you so well.
It's hard. It's hard. And I think that like I kind of was forced to learn this earlier on in our marriage because I so struggled with this. And I think one of the phrases that's just coming to mind is, and this is hard for some people to hear, and it was for me, like, self-care isn't selfish. And you like instilled that in me, because like there would be times when I would do such a terrible job of taking care of myself that then I would just be like empty and depleted and couldn't show up well for you. And it drained you and your energy. So I think like now, like, you're kind of learning this too. And so anyway, this is just so important in general, but I think it's important in loving each other well. And, if you're collapsed on the floor, it's really hard to be like, can you help me with the kids? So like, this is good. I think it's important for everybody. Okay. And then number 10,
bringing it home
here, which is funny because we're about to reward ourselves after this podcast episode by doing this thing.
That's why I made it last.
Yeah, I love it. So we said, don't watch TV every single night.
Yeah.
You can watch TV's okay, but not every single night, like you're in front of the television together. And I think because, again, it's the same thing as having a phone in front of you.
Yeah.
Really, television is not like a, hey, how was your day, honey? Yeah. It's very much like we're sitting next to each other, but are we connecting? No. So like we've kind of actually, I think, fallen into a pretty good rhythm where we've said, like, these are the nights we're going to watch something. Yeah. These are the nights that we're not.
Yep.
And then we never, I think the longest we ever watch something for is like Saturday nights on the Sabbath, like an hour and a half max. But most nights it's 45 minutes and we're done.
Yeah.
It's like enough time to eat our big bowl of popcorn and our bowl of granola.
You said we're not connecting, and I totally agree, except I love that part of the ritual. And that to me it's as much that as it is the screen time.
Yeah.
Like, I do enjoy the show as well.
Yeah.
And I'm just getting super excited to go downstairs and make a giant bowl of popcorn.
Hey, let's wrap this thing up here.
So, but I love that we eat popcorn the same way. because I have sat next to people and ate popcorn next to them and felt so self-conscious.
Yeah.
Because some people out there are civilized humans and they eat one kernel and then they think about it for 10 minutes and then they eat one more kernel. Yeah. And we are both more like, give me that. And so I like butter all over. But I like that. I know we're not connecting in the sense of like, how are you? Tell me about your day.
Yeah, true.
But I do like that shared experience. I do feel connected to you in a unique way. I know it's not the same.
I like that. No.
But
I'm going to remember that as I devour my popcorn.
Well,
in a few minutes
there you go. I know. So like when we're sitting there eating the popcorn and watching the show, one of the things I'm thinking of is like, there's nobody else in the world I could share this with who would enjoy this as much as I do and in the same way that I do.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine if one or the other of us was the monster and the other person was like the dainty, like,
yeah,
that would just not be as nearly as satisfying. So the fact that
folks,
you're like, hey, extra butter. And I'm like, yeah, extra butter.
You guys can already tell we take our popcorn very seriously around here.
It's one of our core values.
Yeah, popcorn. So that was a fun one to end it with. But hopefully this list has been really helpful for you guys. And it's helpful for us, again, because this is 0% us saying we're doing this perfectly. But I
think we literally said multiple times.
Yeah. So I'm reminding everyone that we're not doing this perfectly. But it can be, again, a beginning of a conversation with your spouse. Maybe there's one or two things on here that really stood out to you that you want to prioritize in this in this next season. And again, if you're not doing this well, like, that's okay. It can be hard to do, but just start where you can and where you're at. And I know in the long run, like, it's so worth it.
Thanks so much for joining us today for our conversation around 10 ways to keep the love alive with young kids.
We hope you found it both helpful and encouraging. And if you like this episode, we would love it if you'd subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's a great zero-cost way to support this podcast.
You can also find us on Apple and Spotify and leave us up to a 5-star review. One of the most amazing things about the world we live in today is that you can help us live our home-centered life by liking and subscribing.
We look forward to connecting with you again soon. Thank you so much for joining us as we seek to live a more home-centered life.